Hello, everyone. My name is Kasaya, and I am a tarot reader. I am here to share a message with you today. So, if you have found yourself here, these messages might be for you. However, if they do not fit, do not force them. Take only what resonates and leave the rest. Okay, okay, okay. All right. Now, these messages may resonate for your past, present, or future. Place them where they fit. This message, um, I was inspired to write. It was less of a channeling and more of an inspiration. Um, about a month or two ago, somewhere in that time frame. I don't have a date on it, so this one's called "You're Not Meant to Chase Your Youth." All right. There was a long period in my life that I always found myself saying, "I just want to be myself again," or looking at old pictures saying, "I just want to be her again." I there was a period of my life where I just felt as though I could not reach back to that young girl, that excited, that super adventurous and always spontaneous type of self that I once was. Light, like completely carefree, more than lighthearted, careless at times, naive. All right, I wish to return to this young version of me again at one period of my life. I was always chasing something that was gone, the this fleeting nostalgia of a time, a person, or a place before harder things had happened in my life, before certain pains or certain knowledge was experienced, before I went through certain lessons in my life. I found myself feeling stuck and sad often because of this, because I was always reaching for something that was no longer there. I was always reaching for this part of myself that I had grown out of. I was reaching for this part of myself that was still untouched by the life experiences that I have gone through. And it wasn't until a couple years ago that I realized that wishing to be someone that you were before is an act of self-sabotage and self-degradation. Because it's it's not accepting of the person that you are now. It's not embracing of the qualities, the wisdom, the knowledge that you possess now after having been through the things that you went through. It wasn't until then that I moved forward from this longing period in my life. Wishing to be myself again was like denying that who I was in this moment was important or worthy of appreciating. When you desire to return to something that no longer exists, it's like asking to wipe away everything that you've learned, who you're becoming, and what your future actually holds for you now that you have experienced these things. It's like telling your subconscious that you don't love yourself as you are, and that you don't deserve to be loved for who you are now. That the only version of you that deserved to be loved was the one that hadn't been touched by hardship, by pain, by heartbreak, by betrayal, by struggle. And that's just simply not true. Ooh, I got goosebumps when I said that. It's just simply not true. And Spirit wants you to know this. Sure, that old version of you, you may see it as more carefree and lighthearted. Maybe you think they had more fun, even. But that old version of you was more naive and emotionally immature. They lacked wisdom and strength that you hold now. Okay? That you hold in this moment because of those struggles, because of those hardships, because of the pain. Okay, that old version of you lacks the capacity for life itself that you hold now. You now are able to embrace and accept and understand and see a wider variety and a more vast skill set as well, but knowledge, okay, that the past you wouldn't have been able to handle. Okay, and it's because you went through these things and became a different person. All right, the past self wouldn't know what to do with all that you have now. It wouldn't know how to hold it. It wouldn't be strong enough to hold everything that you know, everything that you are. And with all your learning, all that you wish to create. That older self wouldn't have been able, it wouldn't know what to do with it. It wouldn't know how to do it. It wouldn't know where to go. It wouldn't know where to look or where to place things. It wouldn't know how to stand up for that past version of you, wouldn't know how to stand up for themselves. Okay? Wouldn't know how to place boundaries, wouldn't know how to, in a centered way, protect the self. Who you were is important to love, but who you are becoming is more important to create than only loving the version of you that once existed. Whether you gather your lessons and your wisdom and tap into some, when you gather your lessons and your wisdom and tap into some radical self-love, that old you doesn't seem as desirable to embody. Okay, because you start to open up. And when you open up to creating and acting from where you are at right now, after the pain and the hardship, the heartbreak, the betrayal, etc., who you are becoming begins to excite you. And you instead develop gratitude and understanding for the younger you, and why you had to experience what you did, and why you can no longer be that version of yourself. You take along your old self, you grab them by the hand, and you show them new things. Not those old things that you used to do and have fun with, new things that enlighten you and expand you. You introduce them to a different experience of life and a different perspective of life, a different worldview. You no longer chase your youth, but embrace your responsibility and accountability to become anew, to become more free, to become who you would like to become. Okay? You stop feeling stuck and sad, desiring something that no longer exists. You embrace possibilities that you never thought of before. You embrace the expansion that was never available to you at that point. Life becomes hopeful and liberating instead of melancholic and confining. When you stop chasing the youth, you start to shine as your adult self. You start to shine as who you were meant to be. Okay, you start to be able to, you just start to become more open to everything that life has for you. When you chase the youth, it's this perpetual cycle of, grasping at air, basically. And it gets you nowhere. You feel stuck and sad because it's wasting time. It's wasting energy. It's wasting mind power. Okay, it's wasting your attention and your focus, whereas your attention and your focus could be on accepting who you are now, loving who you are now after what you've been through. You cannot go back to the past you, and you're not meant to. You're not meant to be her. You're not meant to be him. You're not meant to be them. You're meant to be who you are now. And when you come into this understanding, then you are able to open up to the love, and you're able to learn this new part of you. And once you're learning, it's like you just start to see things in ways that you never have before. And you start to explore things that you never have before. Because the old you was not going to explore these things. Maybe because they didn't know how to. Most likely because they didn't know how to. Right? So it's having an appreciation for where you are at this point in your life. And having a gratitude for that which you have been through that has changed and transformed you. As long as you are reaching for a past version of yourself, you are telling the universe, you are telling God, what have you, that you are not wanting them to bless you with anything new, and that you're telling them that you're not worthy, that you don't believe you are worthy of new, that you don't believe you are worthy of expansion, of opportunity, that you don't believe you are worthy of new connections, of new love, of new friendships. And that's what you tell the universe when you say, I just want to be myself again. I just want to be her. I just want to be him again. No, you don't. You truly don't. What you want is to feel lighthearted again. You want to feel spontaneous again. You want to feel like you're having fun again. That's what you want. It's not, you don't want to be an old version of yourself. You want to enjoy life again. That's what it is. When you chase your youth, it doesn't matter how old you are. You know, you can do this at 18 years old. You can do this at 75 years old, looking back and reaching for the younger you. Okay? It's something that humans tend to struggle with at one point in their life or another. But once you realize that what you are doing is self-sabotaging the potential that you have within you, once you understand that that is what you are doing, that you are degrading yourself, that you are bringing your own spirits down by reaching for what no longer exists, then you will start to open up to learning about who you are and why you had to go through what you went through. And it becomes this new journey. It becomes new. And because you step into a new journey, life becomes fun again. And then you have that's when you move through this mastery of this is when you move through the mastery of life. You don't have to be young to have fun, to be lively and carefree. You just have to love yourself and have gratitude for what is in your life at this moment, and have gratitude for what you have been through, no matter how hard it was. You wouldn't be who you are today. You wouldn't know what you know today. You wouldn't be as strong as you are. You wouldn't be able to handle what you do or embrace what you do if it wasn't for that old part of yourself, that old self dying and being washed away. Okay? So that is the message that I have for you today. I hope that it found everyone that it was meant for, and I hope it found you in a very open and receptive state. If you liked this video, if you enjoyed, please do not feel afraid to leave a like or a comment. Subscribe if you feel drawn to. If you are interested in the way that I interpret my messages, I do have personal energetic readings at this time for $45. My email will be in my YouTube bio. Don't be afraid to reach out, okay? And until next time, guys, much love.